host doing the most. Let me get a better view here if I can. I guess it's okay. I'll try to bring it a little closer. Just a nice little view for y'all people here in the graveyard. Let me make it work anyway. This is a video I'm doing for some special friends of mine back home in Kansas City. This ain't working down here. But yeah, back home in Kansas City, I want to give a shout out to, want to give a special RP to Randy and Cindy. Cindy just recently died here in Vegas. I just received the message last night. Me and her was very, very close, very tight. Kind of tell you a little bit of the story of how we met and how we all got so close. Shout out to Randy's family. It was crazy because they say the guy Randy was my biggest fan, you know, or one of my biggest fans, and he would play my music all the time. And I actually never met Randy. The story's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time, but so what happened was, anyway, so they say Randy would listen to all my music. He would always play it. He always wanted to go to all my concerts. You know, a lot of his friends listened to my music, and somehow Randy ended up dying in a car crash. Crashed into a tree in front of his house. And that's where he died, right there in front of his house. So maybe like a week or two later, right after the funeral, or was it, no, matter of fact, this was like 4 days after he had died, because I was supposed to go to the funeral and didn't make it to the funeral because I had to do a show in like Mayfield, Kentucky, or Paducah, Kentucky. Hold on one second. Okay. Yeah, so I was supposed to do a show in Mayfield, Kentucky, Paducah, Kentucky. So I couldn't make it to the funeral. I know some of the family and friends and fans was upset, but you know, as an artist, we try our best. We try our best to do what we can, and that's why I'm giving up the love right now. You know, like I said, I never met Randy. He was a fan, but I care about my fans. I care about my people. Because without the fans, I'm nobody. I'm no one. You know, fans make this thing possible. You know, I wouldn't be doing it without the love of the people. If I wouldn't get no love for the people, I wouldn't even be doing it. What's the point? You know, it ain't all about the money for me. You know. So let me go a little deeper into the story. So it's like 4 days after he had crashed into the tree in front of his house and died. They said when he died, he was playing my music, like the music was still playing in the car. And I'll get to that part of the story. They said my music was actually playing when he crashed. Now, me, I'm a spiritual person. I don't really know what all this means or what really happened, but I figure I share the story with the people. So, I happen to be coming from Olathe, Kansas, back to Missouri. I'm driving my friend's car. I actually get lost down these blocks. I don't even know where I'm going. I pull over to, you know, to do something real quick, to situate some things, put some things in my trunk, whatever I'm doing, to situate some things. So I just pull over on a random block. I got turned around. I'm trying to hit the highway. You know, I had came into the city for a minute. And I promise, I come down a block. I don't even know where I'm at. I come down a block. When I get to this block, I open up my trunk, then I see a couple of kids on the porch. Me being an artist, you know, back in them, especially in them days, these was years back. It's over 10 years ago now. So this is a while back when we were still, you know, selling CDs out the trunk. Some of y'all new artists don't know nothing about that, really getting out there grinding and selling them units out the trunk. Well, I was on that mission, selling those units out the trunk. So I'm a little chapped, hold on. Can't be doing the ashy and chapped online, you know what I'm saying, on the live. But so I see about 4 or 5 kids on the porch, and I ask them, do they want to buy some CDs? Um, when I tell them my name and who I am, Mr. Stinky, they flip out. They yelling, screaming, they going crazy, they calling their friends. All of a sudden, cars is pulling up, people running out the house, neighbors running out. I'm like, what's going on? They like, your biggest fan just crashed into a tree right here in this yard. I'm like, in this yard? They're like, yeah, this is his house. He lived here. Or his best friend's house or whatever's house. They're like, yeah, it's his house. He crashed into a tree. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. They like, he loves you to death. Who told you to come here? I'm like, I'm just pulling over I'm lost. I'm just pulling over on the side block. I don't know. Nobody told me to come here. They're like, no way, you lying. This can't be real. This can't be. I'm like, I'm telling y'all, I just happened to pull up over here. Just, you know, I'm lost. I just pulled up here for a minute because I ain't know none of these people. And yeah, so all the fans and you know, the people, they come out shaking my hand, they buy a couple of CDs and they tell me the story. I give out a couple free after hearing the story, and they like, yeah, he crashed to a tree. I don't even think we had the funeral stuff. The funeral stuff wasn't even arranged yet. It was like 4 days fresh after it happened, or the day before. I'm not really sure. So much stuff didn't happen in my life. I'm not even sure, but I'm telling you, it was crazy, like a miracle, you know, to them that I just appeared there. And it's crazy how I got lost, because I'm lost in a neighborhood that I'm not a neighborhood, but like I'm lost in a city that I'm familiar with almost every block in the whole city. But this one particular block, or these few particular blocks, I was kind of just turned around, just kind of lost on the streets and where I was going and what I was doing, because I was already done what I was doing in the city, and I had meant to hit the highway and leave, and somehow I just end up at these people's house. So I just want to say R.I.P. to Randy. Later on, about 2-3 days later, I get a call from like his brothers and cousins, and I don't know if it was girlfriends or whatever it was, but I get a call from some people, and you know, and by the way, I'm in a graveyard right now, so you know, I may get interrupted. Somebody may tell me not to record right here. I figure it's only right that RP to Cindy, RP to Randy, that I do this in a graveyard. And I'm the type of person, I like to come to graveyards because I got a lot of respect for them. It's a lot of peace and a lot of spiritual things that go on in the graveyard. So I'm right here right now in the Las Vegas graveyard, if you want to know where I'm at. But back to the story. So I get a call from his mother and some friends, and I found out that his mother's a bail bondsman. And they come and they say they want to, you know, sponsor a few of my shows, and if there's anything I need, and, you know, and then I start talking to her about how I wanted to get into the bounty hunter business. You know, back then, anything to make $1, you know, legally. We're trying to get money, we're trying to flip it. So, so I did that. It was crazy. So, ended up becoming part of the bail bondsman team, you know what I mean? And you know, since I had my legal carrying firearm permit and all that stuff, and I decided to, you know, make money off of it. So there's a lot of people in the Kansas City and Kansas area that we actually bond out of jail. You know, got you on up out of there. I remember people used to call from the county, man, help me get out of there. We trying to get them out of there. You know, that's whatever. You know, that's something that went down. But I just recently found out that Cindy passed away, his mother, Randy's mother, in Las Vegas, Nevada, last week. I get a call last night. She passed away last week, or 2 weeks, a week and a half ago. So I'm like, this is crazy. You know, and we was very close, like I said. And I just wanted to make this little video and, you know, send some shout outs and love to Randy's family, Randy's friends, Randy's mother, Cindy, and shout out to Tommy, you know, and everybody, man. It's just crazy how things go down. And, shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs, the winning team. We keep winning. Hope we go to the Super Bowl. Shout out to everybody back home. I'm doing just fine. I'm doing great. New music on the way. But I thought I'd just share that story. It's kind of crazy how I just ended up in front of that man's house. You just never know. There's a little more to the story. I can't really remember everything because I do so much as a person, as an artist. But yeah, yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, and I'm sorry I couldn't make it to. I ended up making a song too about Randy. I ended up making a song, you know, dedicated to him, and I think it's called Zion's Treasure, where I mentioned little Randy. And yeah, man, I always thought the story was real touching and real intriguing, and I respected it, especially the fact that his friends became my friends, and it's just crazy, man. Me and his mother became tight friends doing business, and and about that game last night. Chiefs, Kansas City #1. We a city on the rise. We a city taking over the planet. Y'all gonna have to respect it. Mr. Stinky, coming at you live like a bullet.